I hit record, and then make sure we're using the same one, and then
we're off.
The world is our oyster.
Yeah, easy peasy, bro.
Lemon squeeze.
Hello! And welcome. Episode 1. How do you feel?
Alive.
Alive? That's absolute bullshit, I know it.
I feel like death still.
Okay. Episode 1. Last episode, episode 0, I explained what the podcast was about. Very briefly. I should probably go over it.
I think details are needed.
A bit more detail. I feel like we talked about how we were going to fight and how we were going to record it on the Steam Deck, and then as soon as we ended the podcast, you were like, "Oh, let's just play on the PlayStation."
It's a big. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to do it on a bigger screen. What's the screen size of the Steam Deck?
I don't know the
minute
exact size,
compared to 55.
Yeah, okay,
glorious OLED TV.
Yeah, but sadly being run from a PlayStation. But we won't go there.
Oh, he's starting a console war.
Yeah, so we ended up recording it on the PlayStation. So that means if you watched episode 0, you would have seen just the gameplay aspect. What I will say, what we ended up doing, because our best side is left side in terms of fighting, what we ended up doing was just quick rock, paper, scissors in order to see who was on left, and I think I was on left, right?
We'll have to wait to the video to find out.
I can't remember. It's been a whole week and I've forgotten everything.
You switch sides
all I know is that I unfortunately lost the first fight of the entire series.
Always put the spoiler announcement
out.
But
you did warn me, to be fair, that I've never beaten you as Kuma.
With Asuka. You've beaten Kuma many times.
Yeah. Well, what's hilarious is that one, my plan to get you into Tekken more has definitely worked. Because you've been playing pretty much every day, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Just text me, be like, "Oh, you coming on?"
It's not even texting; it's full on phone calls, isn't it? I'm like, "Where is he?" He says he's addicted.
I don't respond to my phone for like 5 minutes, and then you rang me like 3 times. Just be like, "Where the fuck are you?" Where I'm on Tekken waiting to fight.
Things had to be done, and you weren't there to do them, apparently.
God damn. But anyway, what's frustrating is I feel like I had a ridiculous win streak against you when we were just casually playing throughout this week. And I know for a fact now that at the end of this podcast, when we have the fight, the big fight, the one and only fight.
I mean, I should probably give you my announcement that I'm retiring from this competition.
Retiring while you're ahead?
100% win record.
But, so you're up 1. I am on 0, you are on 1.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Like a winner.
Like a winner. How does it feel knowing that this is going to be your only win?
Well, I don't think that's true for starters. I think it'll be 2-0 by the end of this podcast.
Oh, right, okay.
The question is, how do you feel about the gap between us getting bigger?
Oh, that will be rough. Imagine, what happens if we get down the road? We're 25 episodes into this podcast,
and you haven't won a single
and I haven't won one. At that point, we should probably consider seasons.
Actually, I think we should consider. Do you ever play a game with your dad and you sucked, and
I beat my dad on everything. I beat my dad at every game I ever played, and it actually made him salty.
So okay.
Oh, dude! Do you remember Cool Borders?
Yeah.
Right, he bought me Cool Borders, and I played Cool Borders fucking loads on the PlayStation. And then I was like, "Oh, that's 2-player, Dad. Do you want to play?" He goes, "Yeah, go on, I'll give it a go." And then we were doing basically a straight race down to the bottom. And I told him all of the controls before we started. It's you press this to jump, you press this to duck down to get speed, and blah blah blah. Right? We started playing, and he didn't use the duck down to get speed function at all, right? And he's like, "Oh, how are you getting so fast?" I'm like, "Oh, you gotta press that boost button." "Oh, you didn't tell me that, son."
That's the classic.
Yeah, and then I'm fucking flying down this mountain, and he's constantly losing. I think he lost 3 times, and he was like, "I think I've had enough," and then he just walks off.
Well, my situation was kind of reverse, and my dad was
Right.
always better than me, but I'm guessing that my dad might have been a bit more invested into video games than your dad was.
Yeah, no,
and it would
he
get to
didn't
the
care.
point where...
We played like a top-down pool game quite a lot. He liked that one, but other than that, he didn't really play any games.
Well, with me, it'd get to the point where you'd be on such a losing streak. You'd say sort of this phrase, winner takes all.
Right.
And that meant nothing else mattered before that. This was the one
You
game.
take on the mortgage of the house.
Yeah. I robbed my dad at a young age, essentially.
Yeah.
Maybe we should implement that. If the streak, the distance between us, the points, gets so grand, let's say.
I know, but then that takes
Winner
away.
takes all.
That takes the whole like winning away, then, doesn't it? What if?
But it gives me a chance to
there's
win.
a 10 win streak, and then it gets reset.
It'll never be a 10 win.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be
That's
hard
a
to get.
challenge.
Right? That is a challenge.
Challenge that I'm prepared to take on and win. So that's all right. Okay.
If someone gets ahead by 10 points, then we start a new season the next episode. And that's how our seasons are broken up. The season could last 10 years, or it could last 10 episodes.
I mean, I'm down for that.
It could be fun.
I think it gives us a chance then. But then are we going to put something at the end of it, like a prize, something the loser has to do for the winner, perhaps?
No,
Because it feels...
no, definitely not.
Maybe like a free meal. Not like anything stupid. Not anything that you could possibly come up with. Something
we
sane.
can't bring any of that into it. We can't
Why?
bring any of that into it.
And
It's the fight. Whoever wins the fight at the episode gets crowned king for the entirety of the next episode. Unfortunately, that's
hang
you.
on. Okay, yeah, I want to be referred to as king then from the entirety of this episode. That I can live with.
Right, okay. I guess I shouldn't have said that.
Nope, you should not have, but you've said it now and it's out there.
Okay, king.
Thank you. I think I should call you Jester from now.
King and Jester. God damn. Okay, but yeah. So where was I? We did a rock paper scissors to find out who was on left side of the screen. So yeah, I ended up getting it, and I lost with Kuma. So we also, when we went to do the fight, I think we talked that there was like 2 rounds, 2 to win, but we ended up doing it 3 because that's easier
the
on
set standard, isn't it, for versus?
Yeah. So on versus, it was just set standard to do 3, so we did that instead. And we'll probably do that from now on. What I think we might do at the end of this episode is just react to the video. We'll basically watch our previous fight, and then we could hopefully pick up things that we're crap at, so that we learn throughout the podcast journey. How does that sound?
As podcasters and as Tekken players.
Because, I wanted to explain as well, we're starting this as complete casual Tekken players.
Oh yeah. That's
Like, if you're coming to listen to this podcast thinking that we know everything about Tekken, you are completely in the wrong place. You need to go search someone else that has been playing this game non-stop for years and is probably keeps up to date on all the news and blah blah blah. We are not that. We just casually enjoy Tekken.
But we could be on the road to that with this.
We
podcast.
could be. That would be hilarious if we get there. But I mean, I'm going to shoot low because I know I will just stay low.
and that's your problem. That's why you lost the first game. You aimed low. I shot for the stars and landed somewhere in the sky.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to explain, really. So again, at the end of this podcast, at the end of this episode, we're going to watch the video, see what's happening with it, see what we can pick out, maybe talk about what's going on, and then we have the fight at the end of the episode, which will be recorded and added on to the end of this. At the end of this on YouTube, I will say.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So yeah. There we go. That's what I wanted to say.
So what's happening in the world of Chris?
I I haven't played a lot of Tekken this week.
I know. It's been very disappointing.
I have a slight new addiction.
There'll be one of these each week, so just keep track of these new addictions.
Yeah.
But carry on.
I've gotten hyped on Monster Hunter. I think I've told you already. I've been watching a lot of Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, so I've been watching all the trailers and some like gameplay stuff that was at Gamescom and things like that with what Wilds is and what is coming out next year. And that got me hyped, and I've loaded back up Monster Hunter World, and I've been playing through that, and it's very fun.
I think it's one of my favourite series. So
is it actually
Monster Hunter? Yeah, I remember owning the first one.
I never really played it that much as a kid. I definitely played Monster Hunter 1 on PS2, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I played that. It was okay. Like, I wasn't like massively fussed on it, but I also like didn't really spend any time with it to realize what it was. If you get me,
it's not a game that it doesn't hold your hand as such, does it?
No, not
you're
at all.
in the world.
But like,
go from there.
Also, if you don't know anything about it and you just get to play it for like maybe an hour or two, then you're not really gonna pick up what the whole game is, like what it's offering you, because it's such a big game. That you just need to spend some time in order to even realise what is there for you to do. I feel like you choose a quest and you go out to fight something, and it's like, yeah, sure, you fight this thing and you kill it and you come back or whatever. But the real like allure of Monster Hunter is you see this entire ecosystem of monsters, and you get to like just collect their skins and their bones and their like bits and pieces to get greater armors and then greater weapons and then weapon upgrades and blah blah blah. And that's what the good thing of Monster Hunter does, which I think is quite unique when you think about it, considering it can like other games.
Don't know many games that have followed the same concept weirdly, other than the pure hunting simulator games, which obviously take it that extra 2 miles because it's so detailed.
Yeah, but that's what, that's the crazy thing. Like, it's an insane formula and it's a great formula, but like only Monster Hunter's doing it. Like no one else has copied it.
Let's backtrack to the first Monster Hunter purely because I just want to ask: did you have PlayStation 2 online?
No, I didn't.
That's where the flaw was. I think potentially with the first one was that if you just had the game, you were playing it on your own.
Yeah.
Whereas if you had the online, it was like a thing you bought to go on the back of the PlayStation.
Yeah, the network adapter.
And I remember running the cable from the living room in my mum's house all the way upstairs to my room just to play online. That's where the real like gem is in that game, because you get to play with like other people, potentially friends as well. I think it was quite difficult to sort of team up with friends in the original one, if I remember correctly.
Was it?
Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure you I can't remember if you had like a friends list and you could join with those worlds. I'd say double check, but I don't know the game anymore, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Did it get released on anything else? Was it on
PlayStation 2? And I remember
was it like GameCube and stuff, or?
I don't think so. I think it was just PS2, and I remember it because I'm pretty sure. So it's Capcom that make Monster Hunter, isn't it? And it was a demo disc in Devil May Cry 3.
Oh, nice.
That's how I found it, sort of thing.
See, that's another game that I didn't really play as a kid.
But weirdly with that whole thing, demo discs as well, they don't really do that anymore, do they?
No. Obviously, they've brought demos back in a big way on Steam, which is like so sick. I think
it's
so
a very good idea. Cause
they do like this thing called Steam Fest, where like all these indie developers and stuff, they basically just put up a demo for people to play during this like weekend event or whatever, and then you get to like wishlist the game, and then you get to it's coming out soon kind of thing. It's a great way for one, exposure for all these indie devs, and two, you just get to play a load of free games for like the weekend.
You've just listed all the pros of demos.
Yeah, really, it's amazing.
It's I'm presuming it disappeared because of they took it obviously away from the disc and put it onto the stores, didn't they? And
when it went on the stores, I never really
lost it. Did it as much? I can't think of any.
But then you got to think as well, like I don't know. Are any big like AAA developers doing demos at all now? Actually, Resident Evil do them, don't they? They do those one-shot demos, which I think are really good. Because it's literally like you have one life, 1 hour, and you just try to do as much as you can. If you die, then that's it.
I'm trying to think if
which is really cool. I like that. But yeah, I can't think of anyone else.
But the thing is, with a lot of the AAA games, they're usually done by developers that are well renowned in the gaming world.
Yeah.
So people kind of trust that again. Whereas I suppose back when the PlayStation 2, maybe the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, maybe the PS3, that era, they weren't as well known, and you didn't know what you were kind of getting yourself in for unless you had either a magazine which had pictures of the game.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Had a demo.
And like going from PS2 to PS3 as well, I still feel like a lot of devs were just like learning what we can do with games still, you know?
Well, I think that was a bit of a confusing time for PlayStation personally, being that they went with a weird coding choice. I'm no expert.
No, it's a weird processor or something.
Something was different, and I think that's why the Xbox really took over it.
Yeah.
It
was like expensive as well, wasn't it? Because it came with the Blu-ray disc reader, which was obviously the discs of the game, but you could play.
Were Blu-ray players at that time more expensive than the PlayStation?
Yeah,
that's why a lot of people bought them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird time.
But I saved up and invested in the PS3, and I remember the first game I got for it.
What was it?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh my god, what a terrible game.
There weren't many games out for it at the time. And
that's where PS3 like really screwed up.
No, you say that, but I don't think they did at the same time. They had a very bad start, don't get me wrong. But then you have to remember that like Uncharted was on there.
Uncharted is where I got my PlayStation.
The Last of Us were on there. They had really good games, but I think they
but that was way later on.
That's what I mean. Yeah. They had such a bad footing.
Yeah, they really did.
If you start like a mile behind the person in front of you, you're never going to really catch up to them, are you?
Yeah, they had a really terrible start.
But then I think they...
Do you remember that that dragon riding game?
Yeah, I had that.
What was that called?
Was it Rise? No. Rider? No, I can't remember. But it had the picture of the guy's face. A guy with a helmet on was on the cover.
You're probably thinking of Rise, the Roman game.
No, it was because you didn't get off the dragon. You just flew the dragon around and attacked.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
and then I think about
it was like motion controls, wasn't it? Yeah,
and I think about halfway through the game, you were like, I'm on the enemy's side, and you took the other guy.
I didn't get that far. I played it for a little bit. I thought it was awful.
I got it because it was like it came out and it must have bombed really badly. Because I think I got it for £5, which was dirt cheap. But still, I'd be surprised if you could find a game for £5 these days. Yeah. But it was dirt cheap for it. And I was like, well, I want more games. I'll give it a try. And
it was kind of fun to play with the motion controls as well, right? Because I guess only was the Wii out? When did the Wii come out?
The Wii came out, it's part of the same generation. I don't know when it came out. It would have been around the same time. Though.
Yeah, but I guess everyone was kind of hyped around that sort of motion control stuff back then.
I mean, I didn't mind the PS3's motion control, but it was very... The Wii was more suited for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they used it in one of the Ratchet and Clank games on the PS3.
Did they?
You'd airdrop, but you'd parachute, but without the parachute, of course, because your Clank was a jetpack. Logical.
Of course.
And you'd have to remove the remote to dodge the missiles that were just shooting straight up or something. They kind of go up. What happens when they come down sort of thing?
No, they just shoot straight up, man.
Oh, yeah. They, some unknown place, there's just a lot of missiles coming.
Just some planet in the distance, so they've shot it They've just fired it. They don't care where it goes.
But yeah, you had to use it to dodge it, and it was okay. They attempted something different, which you've got to give them credit for. But then the Wii really just rocked that.
The Wii was huge. Is it still the best-selling console now?
I don't know if it's that or the PlayStation 2.
Good point. I think the PlayStation 2 is still the best-selling, right?
I know the best-selling Wii game is Wii Sports, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's because it came with the console. Yeah, did they count the ones that... Because that's bullshit.
Did they even sell it separately? I don't know.
I have no idea. It was they can't count that, surely. It doesn't make any sense.
They sold a disc copy because it went there. That counts as a sale.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But the Wii was a good console, to be fair. I didn't really have it.
I think there are some games I could probably still party games. I think
party games on Nintendo are always superior.
But I think they're for example the Olympic game Mario and Sonic.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
Did you? I never played that.
I feel like you're missing out for some reason. We should get a Wii and just let you loose on it for like a day or something.
Yeah, maybe. I never really played any sort of Nintendo stuff. I didn't own any of the Nintendo stuff growing up. I did have a Game Boy Color, which had Pokemon Yellow on.
Which boy, our generation didn't have a Game Boy with Pokemon.
I know, yeah. So I had I did have the Game Boy like original too, which I had Mario on. But yeah, that was the only Nintendo thing I really had. It was Mario and then Pokemon. And then I don't think I really had anything Nintendo wise until I decided, like when I was a bit more adult, and I just bought a what did I buy?
The Switch.
Was it the Switch
Or the DS?
I think I bought a DS. No, I didn't buy a DS. No, it must have been the Switch. I must have picked up the Switch at some point. Yeah, I basically never play it.
You went full on into adulthood and then thought, I'm going to buy the childish console now.
yeah, pretty much.
Really designed for like younger kids.
Yeah, and it's just like gathering dust under my TV. I never use it.
I think half the battle with Nintendo is the price of their games. Like I do enjoy playing the Mario games.
They hold their price solidly too.
But I'm not prepared to spend like 40-50 quid on a Mario game sort of thing. So it's a real shame. I think that's the problem with it. And I don't think they're going to change it anytime soon.
No, probably not.
But they do. Is this new one must be coming out soon? There must be rumours.
There's a lot of rumours about Switch 2. They thought that they were going to announce it this year or whatever, but I don't think they did. But again, I don't really follow Nintendo that much, so.
But yeah, I think Nintendo. What I owned. I remember getting the SNES. I got it at a weird time though, and I kind of wish I had kept hold of it because obviously the older consoles have started to go up slightly. Well, I say go up in value. I didn't pay for it. My dad did, so it was free for me in a way.
Winner takes all. You took it.
I got it as part of his mortgage. Okay. I got it. I think when I had a PS2, so it was like a couple generations behind. Weirdly.
Oh right.
And it was like I remember having the cartridge game and the Mario All Stars game for it.
Damn.
And then I don't know what happened to it. It just disappeared from my life.
Did he win and winner takes all and took all of your consoles and games?
I haven't seen him since. Weirdly.
He went out to get milk and I haven't seen him.
He said he's taken his parenting role with him and left. No, I don't know what happened to it. But then I sort of think if you're buying a kid who's got a PS2 which does 3D graphics, something that only does 2D side-scrolling games, or like what do they call it when they're not side-scrolling? It's like
the depth.
Yeah, when they just those kind of games, it was never going to last long. But I sort of think now, as I get older, I've taken more an interest in the older games. I'm like, I kind of wish I'd kept it.
Yeah.
But
speaking of my old like Game Boy Color, like it didn't have a backlit screen, so I remember like just trying to play it in my bed at night, and I had to turn the light on in order to see the screen.
Did you ever have
how crazy is that? I know exactly what you're going to say. The little adapter thing. I had that.
See, they weren't dull, Nintendo. They knew what they were doing.
A little extension, like it was like a hard, like rubber type light thing that came out at the side, and it would like bend over to the screen to light up the screen for you. It was crazy.
I don't remember it being very good though from my memory.
It wasn't very good at all.
And I remember,
but it allowed me to play late at night when I should have been sleeping. So
yeah, every kid's dream, really, isn't it?
It was good. And
I remember when I think it was the SP or the Advance came out, which had the backlit screen. Game changer in my eyes. I was just like, I can see what I'm doing.
I never had that.
So yeah, a Game Boy was the first thing, and I can remember my aunt, one of the things she tells me anytime I see her, like, she's like, oh, do you remember when I got you the original Game Boy? I remember having the yellow brick with Pokemon Red.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just spending hours and hours of time playing that game, getting stuck in the caves because I didn't know how to use Flash and things like that. It's just like, probably lose my mind if I tried to do that now.
No, yeah. There's a funny thing about the older games as well. Like, speaking of demos, I was thinking, with demos, like, do they patch demos? Like, does Resident Evil update their demo file or whatever?
I wouldn't know.
Because obviously, like, back in the day, pre-internet, or like pre-connection to internet for games, it was literally, they would just release a disc and they wouldn't update it. It would just be like, that is the complete game. If it's broke, that's it. So they completed games properly, and then like shipped them off for people to buy.
There are like two sides to that argument, aren't there? Really, where it's like back then games didn't really have as many, but they were buggy, but they didn't have as many as games that were released.
Yeah, I know. Games are released so just buggy and broken now.
But now they're...
And people are paying extra to play the betas of stuff. It's like, what are you doing? This is
like,
wild.
But then I get the games are obviously more complex to make now.
That's very true.
And I'm sort of like, but then somewhere along the line, I guess the care aspect has changed. I'm sure that's not really the developers. I bet that's more of publishers and companies just like, we want to make our money sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
they say a deadline, and then there's so many working parts within making this game that everything just needs to come together by this date. But the teams are so large that you can't like talk to every single dev and be like, "Oh, is this going to be ready?" Like most of them are probably going to be like, "Nope, not at all."
Like there are bugs, but then there are also those sort of like they call them not cheats, but like The Witcher 3 is the one that comes to mind where. If you could kill the cows and sell the skins and just like make tons of money or something like that early in the game, but right. You shouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
And obviously that wasn't the ideal concept. So they then patched it. If you killed so many cows, like a demon thing would come at you and kill you.
Oh, really? Like I remember, I was killing cows just out of fun, and then this like demon hunter thing spawned. I was like, what the fuck is this?
That wasn't the original, like, so they didn't have that original.
Yeah, I played it way later.
I will fact check that. I'm pretty sure that they added it way later.
That's cool. I like that.
So like I don't think that's them making a mistake. I think that's just them under pressure, where they're not able to test run the game efficiently.
I mean, there's so much going on in the game, like The Witcher, though, isn't it? Like you're not going to be able to test everything because that'll come down to playtesters, right? So they'll have to give the game out. Playtesters will have to play it, and then they would have to find that exploit.
But that's all part of the development process.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know. They're spending way too much money on making games these days, and then like rushing everyone in order to hit deadlines and stuff for publishers. So yeah, it's all just a bit of a mess at the minute, to be honest.
Well, I think there are good companies and there are bad ones. To be honest,
I think, definitely. Ubisoft comes to mind. Activision comes to mind.
I wasn't going to name any names, but you went, Ubisoft, where do I begin with that? But they made one of my favourite series, like when I was a kid.
What's that?
Prince of Persia.
Oh, Prince of Persia was so good. And
back when they apparently gave a shit.
Yeah, I know. Like Prince of Persia was absolutely brilliant. I think we talk about it quite a lot. Where we were, the Warrior Within was so amazing, and it was it an 18?
Yeah, so
it was an 18.
Sands of Time was a 12. And I remember my dad commenting on this when I asked for Christmas because he was like, "So you've got the first one? It's a 12." I think I was like 11. He was like, "All right, okay." And then he looked at the second one and he went, "That's an 18 for some reason." Like, what on earth happened between that?
It was such a dramatic shift in violence. It was crazy.
So good.
It was a brilliant game. That Warrior Within was so good.
The demo, funnily enough, I had the magazine that brought the disc with the demo on, and you start off on a ship, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you do.
And you fight that one boss. And she like slashes you or cuts you slightly on the face. Yeah. And it's the first like profanity word I think I remember hearing like spoken in a game. And he just went, "Oh, you bitch." And my dad heard it, he went, "What the hell did that just say?" And I was like, yeah. He went, "Oh, my ship."
See my parents just didn't care about any of that kind of stuff. They forced me to play an hour at a time, but they didn't care about what I played. So I was playing like GTA and stuff like that as a kid.
My dad didn't care. Well, he did care, but not enough to say no. He was like, "You can play it, but don't use that stuff around me." Yeah. He was quite reasonable. Whereas I know people. I remember I had this friend in school, and I think he got banned from a PlayStation 2 because of Grand Theft Auto.
Really?
And the mum was just like, he went around killing all these people and they were swearing. I was like, that is not what my child is having. And I'm pretty sure like the PS2 disappeared for like 3 or 4 months before he got it back. And I was like, Wow.
Damn,
I feel like... I guess it's just parenting, which I'm not qualified to comment on.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
exactly.
But from looking back, I still think that's harsh.
Yeah.
From my perspective.
I mean, I was playing like Manhunter and stuff, and look at how I turned out. I'm fine, I'm sure.
He says inside.
Maybe. I doubt myself, but I'm good, right?
Did they ban Manhunter?
Yeah,
Manhunt, I think it was. Yeah, that was I never played it.
That was a violent game. It was brutal.
I remember reading like an article on it going, yes, it's been banned, and I'm like, oh wow, that is. How far could you go?
I don't know if it's still banned or not.
Oh, I'd be very surprised these days. I think there's a lot freakier things.
Yeah, games are a hell of a lot more violent now.
Then they're definitely loosened.
Yeah,
the reins.
You say that, but like Australia bans everything still.
Yeah, but they give a shit about their citizens, don't they?
Absolutely not.
It's not like the UK where they just really don't care. They're going to drive us into the ground quicker if they can. I'm not even sure who's leading this country at the moment. But I don't like him because he's just ruining my life for some reason.
Sorry, we're not going to go political at all.
But I don't. But then I was just thinking, do they make many 18 games? I think they do, but they're not 18. Like even films, I don't know that many 18 films.
Yeah, they've definitely been a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? Relaxed about
They've
it.
Definitely they've loosened let the reins go slightly.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly. They're not as touchy about it anymore.
No, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't really care, so I'm just gonna watch and play everything anyway. I have no kids. There's nothing for me to worry about. I'm just gonna go and enjoy this medium.
But say they're like, oh, this film is terrible. It's terrible. It's so bad that we're not gonna let it in this country. Would that make you want to watch it more?
Yeah, 100%. And that's the problem they have with banning things. Like they attempt to ban some books and stuff as well, right? Because of the contents within the book. Like what's the George Orwell 1986?
1984.
1984.
They tried to ban.
Yeah, they banned that in a certain country. I can't remember which one it was.
It's a country that kind of follows our political system. Would shock me.
But yeah, that got banned, and then it just made people read it more.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it was a lot of other books which have the same or similar thing, and then especially with like games as well. Like, I think they banned Manhunter here, and that just made people like get the pirate version and play it
more.
Yeah, so it just doesn't stop people. Like if you wanting to play it, then you're gonna play it. Like banning it with the internet is just not a thing.
Imagine being a 12-year-old now going, I'm going to play this 18 game. That's banned, you can't. I will find a way to play this 18-year-old game.
Yeah, I know. But so yeah, it's interesting.
So yeah, I don't think it really bothers me, but as a kid, it did make me want to play whatever
was banned.
I didn't want to play the game. I wanted to play the game because it had that sticker on it or that printing just saying 18.
Oh yeah.
Even 15 when I was like younger than that. I was like, gotta get that.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I remember I played GTA 3 on the PS2 a lot. And then Vice City came out, and I was like, well, clearly, Dad, I need this game. I played the last one, and I enjoyed that, so get this one. And then he was just like, yeah, sure.
So, I really never had Vice City.
Did you know?
I've
Vice
played
City was so good, dude.
But I'm all for San Andreas.
San Andreas was amazing.
It's it wasn't even so much the dialogue; it was who they got in to do the dialogue. I still can't believe
the script is incredible.
Whoever wrote that deserves like more money than what they got. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
The fact that they got Samuel L. Jackson in.
I know, right? I know.
Just that one line at the start. It's like, that's my paper. Looks like drug money to me. I'm like, that's just genius. I don't know why. So I'm like, whenever he speaks things like that, I'm like,
it's so
it works.
good. Like,
it just
the entire
works.
thing is so good. But they I don't know why they like moved away from that formula after San Andreas. Like, I remember reading about it in a magazine. I can't remember what magazine it was. I'm going to assume it was like no, it wouldn't have been PC Gamer because it was
PlayStation
like,
magazine.
PlayStation magazine or something like that. I was reading about it in that, and it was all four where it was just like, oh yeah, and you can go to the gym and you can like you can pump your muscles to get stronger. Or if you go and if you eat too much chicken at the Cluck and Bell or whatever, you get fat, and that affects your stats and stuff. And it was like, that is so cool. And then they removed that entire system.
You're really underselling it because it would refuse you certain missions, wouldn't it?
It would change the missions, right? It wouldn't refuse you.
Some of them would be refused. Like,
oh damn! I didn't
one of them, you had to have a certain lung capacity to do the mission,
right?
And you'd go into the highlighted circle, wouldn't you, to start the mission?
Yeah.
And I remember the guy saying you need to be able to swim, go learn how to swim properly.
Oh right. Okay.
But there's one, and I'm pretty sure it's a Big Smoke's mission,
right?
Because you go in there and you've got to do something. He just looks and goes, looking a bit of big there, CJ. It's just like Big Smoke is telling you look a bit big. And I'm like, the hypocrisy is insane. So you'd have to go to the gym to lose some of the weight.
God damn, I didn't know that. But that whole system was so cool, man. And then when the next one was GTA 4, right?
No, they did a few weird things in between, didn't they?
Did they?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they did. Didn't they do the stories and things like that? Liberty City stories.
Oh
Vice
yeah,
City
with the
stories.
PSP and stuff.
Oh, they PSP were they?
Yeah,
I know there
they
were bits
PSP
in between.
Stuff.
But yeah, they took it weirdly. I find that as the games have gone on, they seem to be detracting from more of the noticeable things that you could do. For example, like the gym and the weight stuff. That's not in 4 and 5.
Yeah,
weirdly,
no,
so they sort of detracted.
They went quite hard into the realism aspect in 4.
Which I think we watched a video on it, didn't we, before, where they were like, the AI or the characters or whatever it's called, if the car was in their way, they would turn around or walk around it.
Yeah.
Whereas I think in 5 they'll just walk into it, and it's just like they're acting like it's not there almost. Sort of thing.
The physics body thing was a lot better in 4 too.
Yeah.
They calmed it down for 5.
They took a. It's like, again, they're detracting from the game, but they're adding other things.
They add in an infinite amount of other things to do, but yeah, still they're taking little sort of fun arcadey aspects out of it, and then putting in more serious sort of gangster stuff.
But I mean, are you a fan of the latest one, 5?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I've put a lot of hours into it. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of it now. People play that like it's the only game available to them, I swear.
It's like, I remember reading it's like it's been released on 3 different generations.
Yeah, like they've basically just jumped an entire generation without releasing a game, didn't they?
They did, but then they kept adding things on, which is good because it shows they're keeping their product alive and things.
Yeah,
but it's very money making at the same time.
It was massively money making because they were going to make that story DLC. They were going to make a story DLC to release to it, but then they ended up just scrapping that because they were making so much money with GTA Online.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they just added to the GTA Online loads. And then, I don't know, I just wasn't fussed on GTA Online at all, to be honest. Didn't really care about it.
I get why it's so open world and it's cool to ride the bikes and the planes and whatever, but
me and a few people, we played through the online where we were just riding around and stealing from the petrol stations and having all that kind of fun. But I feel like maybe 30 hours of that or something, and then we were just like, oh, I'm done.
I can't believe you made it to 30 hours
probably
doing that.
Probably just fucking around and just getting 4 or 5 stars or whatever, and then just flying around trying not to get shot by tanks and stuff like that.
Couldn't do that.
But found that fun. But then I completely avoided all of the sort of you go into this race or go into this fight or whatever. I didn't do any of that.
Yeah, see, I couldn't get on with that. I'd rather a story element for that sort of game, I guess, weirdly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they added the story elements with the heists and stuff, but yeah, I didn't really play any of that either.
Yeah,
it's not strange. Really interested.
It's story elements, isn't it? But to me, it's not story at the same time.
The most fun I have in GTA is literally just fucking around in the open world.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can do it in 5. At least I don't think I've tried. Is the cheat codes and things like that. Because you used to be on San Andreas.
Yeah, you could give everyone. They have cheat codes in 5.
You could give everyone weapons and make them go crazy and just shoot anything that moves, sort of thing.
The riot mode in San Andreas was so
cool.
I put in a few codes. It was 5 cheat codes just in a row, and it would make it dark and stormy, riot in citizens, citizens attack you, and it was just pretty much like zombie mode in GTA.
Yeah.
it was amazing.
They'd shoot the rockets, but you wouldn't be able to see the rocket. You just see like the flash of the rocket moving. You just like, where is it? If you didn't catch it right, you'd miss it.
I think we were playing the 2-player version of it, weren't we? Where you literally go to the icon or whatever, and then you unlock 2-player. And we were just fucking about with that. That was fun. But I forgot that it was one locked off camera. So it's like you didn't have a split screen camera at all. We had to share the camera, and it was a bit frustrating to deal with.
And we've recently had an experience of that in a fighting game, haven't we?
A fighting game?
We have, yeah. For a few weeks ago now.
What's this now?
That sort of locked camera. You don't get two. It's not a split screen. It's just one camera. And we had to go to a fighting game. Can you remember what it is though? It's a few weeks ago. I'll give you that.
An actual fighting game, fighter. Because I'm
not sure if I call it a fighter. But you've definitely played it before, and we were really looking forward to it.
Go on then, what was it?
The Dragon Ball Z game.
Oh my god, that was so bad. That was so bad. What game was that?
I think it was it Xenoverse 2?
Right.
And we were really just looking to play co-op, not co-op, versus. And just,
literally just, obviously we were playing Tekken a lot, and we were like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to do that in the Dragon Ball universe? Yeah. So then we picked up this game expecting just like to have fights and fly about and it be cool, and it was shit. It was so bad. A locked camera, and you would be miles away in the distance, just a little pixel on the screen, and I'm there just like mashing one button to throw like bombs at you. It
really didn't help at all.
Yeah, it wasn't very good at all.
That was a single player game, but
I
definitely that co-op thing. Even finding it, we had to YouTube how to find co-op.
How to play
the versus mode in it. It was so weird.
I hate that kind of stuff where they sell a game as like they advertise it as multiplayer, and then you load it up, and it's like this just half-assed sort of mini version of the game, just in a multiplayer aspect.
It's got good reviews though, but that solely must be on the single player.
It's got to be on the single player stuff, because it was bad, man.
It was like even the single player camera wasn't great.
Yeah, like I don't know who's playing that game, but it wasn't great from our point of view.
They are doing the new one, aren't they?
Sparking Zero,
which I'm pretty sure is what the American version of Tenkaichi was called originally.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's why they changed it for some reason. But in the UK it was still Tenkaichi. It was Budokai Tenkaichi.
I never played it.
It's a long word. You never played it?
No.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was like the distance fighting thing we did with Xenoverse, but you had your own screen. So you could see everything you were doing.
Yeah.
And it kind of like there's a main menu and there's a versus mode in that main menu, and you're not like flying around the planet looking for the fucking where's the versus like map sort of thing. It's literally there, so you can find it quite easy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I would like to play a fighter in that world. We should give other fighters a go, I reckon.
Other fight. So when you say other fighters,
like we got Street Fighter going on.
Oh, you mean like side by side fighters? I don't know if they have a specific name for that.
Just
type.
Fighters.
I mean, I do like the idea of Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat would be fun to play. I played that quite a bit. Quite a bit as a kid.
There are a few missing. Like we haven't had a Soul Calibur in a while.
Soul Calibur would be really cool, but I think that is in limbo because of the devs. It was some sort of weird, like combined dev thing. I think I could be misremembering that.
5 or 6.
Yeah. I can't remember what was going on with that, but there was a reason why it's like so awkward to make. It's dependent on like a publisher or something, I think.
It's got your favourite character in it, I'm pretty sure.
What's that?
Yoshimitsu.
It did have Yoshi in it, yeah. It did indeed.
Don't know if the moveset is the same, mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I only played it over my mate's house like maybe once or twice, and that's when I didn't really have a clue what I was doing on fighters either. So
Street Fighter
could be fun to play.
I struggled to get along with it when I played it last.
Yeah. I haven't played any of the new ones.
Like
the only real experience with Street Fighter I've had is actually in an arcade.
Oh, so I think I played 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I think they're on 6 now, aren't they?
Yes.
If they're on 5, I played 3 and 4 then. But I felt it was more button mashy. Yeah. Whereas with Tekken you can button mash.
Insult all of the Street Fighter fans in one moment.
I really struggle with it. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure it isn't.
Yeah.
But like, I just something about the way you fight. It's not the same as Tekken, But we'll comment on it at a later date when you've had a chance to play.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Plus, I remember having to wiggle the analog stick to do a lot of the spinny kicks and things like that. It was all over the place.
So you didn't have a clue what you were doing.
Okay,
and then you're saying, "Oh no, yeah, it was just button mashy."
that might be the problem. That could be the problem.
Probably. It sounds like
it feels button mashy. I read a lot about Virtua Fighter recently as well, but I don't really know what's going on about that.
Like I was playing Virtua Fighter within that like Japanese Like a Dragon game.
Oh, the Yakuza game.
Yeah,
you played the Yakuza?
So yeah, I picked up Like a Dragon, and I was like, oh, I've seen all these like cutscenes and things from this.
The
game.
Cutscenes make it look really
good. And I
good.
thought it looked hilarious, so I wanted to play it. But dude, that game, I played it for maybe 2-3 hours, and it was just dialogue, just non-stop dialogue, and I was like, I just do not care enough.
Did you skip the cutscenes to see where you ended up? That's what you're meant to do.
No, because I wanted to know what was happening, you know? And then it was like, oh, I walked to this shop, and then they told me I needed to go buy something, so then I needed to walk to another shop. And it was just a lot of like, I'm just wandering and doing fetch quest stuff. So I didn't find any fun in it. But I found the arcade in the city, and then it had Virtua Fighter in it, and I was just playing that.
Is it Sega that makes Yakuza? Who makes it?
It is Sega, I think.
It is Sega.
It's all the same thing, right? Because they've got a few arcades within that game, where I'm assuming they've got all the rights for. It was just all.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it would make sense if they had the rights.
Have we checked this game to see if our games are in?
Yeah, just walk in there. There's like GTA in one of the games.
I've always wanted to try the Yakuzas just because they're so wacky and wild.
I couldn't get along with it, but feel free to try. They look like fun if you can get into it, but I feel like you either go from the start, from the very first Yakuza, and then play all of them, and then get super invested in all the characters and actually care about their lives. Or you go into Like a Dragon and not really understand a lot of what's going on and why it's like...
Is it all one giant story?
No, well, so Like a Dragon I think is kind of a reboot, but there's characters within that which have appeared previously, so like things happen to these characters. And it's supposed to be like, oh my god, like crazy, this guy is in it, blah blah blah.
I wonder where they'll,
but if you don't know anything, then you're just going to be like, oh, this guy turns up, you know?
So I didn't realise that. I wonder if they'll stick at it though, because reboots, they don't always do as well as anticipated, do they?
No, well, no, Like a Dragon has shot up in huge numbers though, hasn't it? It did.
I've not followed it. So.
It did really well, and then they released the next one, and that's where all those like cutscene memes started coming in. Where it's like skip the cutscene and then all of a sudden you're playing Super Mario.
that's the famous cutscene.
Yeah. So that's from the second one, I think, of this new reboot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, whenever I think of, I thought it wasn't called Like a Dragon. I misread the title when I first seen it. I thought it said Mike the Dragon.
Mike the Dragon.
I thought it was like a Yakuza game called Mike the Dragon. That's even crazier.
I mean, I really wouldn't put it past them, to be fair. But,
that's the sequel. You just don't know it.
I'm looking at the time. We're coming up close to the end, so I think we should get the video up.
Yes.
Get the video up. We will react to it. We will see how we did in the last fight, and then we got our next fight coming up.
Yes.
Who are you going to play?
So are we restricting ourselves? So say I play...
There's no restrictions. Absolutely zero restrictions.
I don't know then.
You can't be like, don't know, I'm just not going to turn up for this fight.
Oh yeah, I retired, didn't I? What are you talking about? I'm thinking I'll go Reina.
Reina, okay. You have been practicing Reina quite a bit, but you have yet to properly beat me with Reina, I don't think.
I've been holding out on you.
Oh really? Oh really? Okay.
You know what will happen? I'll dominate you now as Reina, and next week you'll be like, don't know what happened there. I think we should restart it. Did I say 10 wins? I meant 2 wins.
I think I'm going to stick with Kuma.
You have a good win record against me as Kuma when I played Reina. Yeah. Maybe I'll change it. Who knows? Maybe. No, I should probably stick with Reina.
Load up the thing while we're waiting. But
now I've got to try and...
What we'll do rock, paper, scissors now to determine who's on the left side of the screen.
I mean, we can
you ready?
if you want.
You ready? But boom!
started playing a video.
Completely distracted. Like, barely attempted to play.
I don't even know. Did I win?
No, you didn't.
I opened it. I must have been watching
Right,
YouTube.
for everyone that's just listening, basically, we did rock, paper, scissors. We went up and down 3 times, and then we released. He looked at his screen and then just didn't even take in what happened with the game, and he just let go as rock.
That's because I'm too busy to open my hand.
Exactly. There was all your brain power just went straight into your tablet.
I opened my thingy, and I just wasn't paying attention.
You can't put it down. Yeah, okay.
I need to log onto my account to access it.
Alright. That's fair enough. Fully prepared, I see. Fully prepared.
I was on YouTube, obviously, last time I used the tablet, and opened it, and it just carried on playing whenever I obviously fallen asleep watching.
God damn. It was a fairly close fight from what I remember last week, right? It got 2-2, and then you beat me on the third. Beat me to get the third, I mean. So it was like final round.
Yes, it went quite the distance, didn't it?
Again, anyone watching and is watching these fights, like I said, we are casual players. So don't try and be like, oh, why the hell are you doing this? Or why didn't you do this? Or why are you spamming this? I'm just going to say, we're both fucking shit.
But I mean, if you do have some helpful tips, I won't turn them down.
Oh yeah, 100%. If you want to help us out with some tips or give us some info about what we're doing wrong or where we can improve or what we can do, then that's great. But don't just sit there and be like, what the fuck, guys? Why are you so bad? Because we know we're bad. It's okay.
You're also going to see our funky character, well, my funky character design.
Yeah, well, yeah, we loaded it up on your PlayStation last, so I obviously didn't have any of my my things.
Are you ready?
Okay, so mute it, and then we will basically watch it now. I'll play it in the background of the video for these people. Okay, play.
So we started on the character select screen, so it's not really straight into the action.
Selecting Farmer Kuma.
And I don't even know how to describe mine.
Just
Asuka's
gangster Asuka.
That's the Yakuza.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did get left then.
Yes,
Kuma's such a fantastic character. But what is going on with those trousers, dude? You're about to fight a bull.
It's a bull.
I'm a bear, bro. I'm a bear, not a bull.
The bear's about to get his ass handed to him.
I fucking launched you and absolutely just dropped you. Got you in the air, though. A little crappy combo going. Dropped you again. It was the pressure, man. The pressure got to me so much.
Oh, the comeback song.
Oh, God.
I fucked that up.
Oh, you did. I managed to actually keep this combo going a little bit. Could have done better, I guess, but... dude,
the counters.
The counter of Asuka absolutely kills me every single time. I fall for it all the time. Well, you do mash it, I think, but I'll go you there.
Why do you think
that's the end here? Is this the end? Oh!
That's
got you with the low. Got you with the low because you're trying to get me with your bloody spammy bloody grab again. And there, instantly with it. God damn. Oh, too far away, whiffing.
I do it on purpose because I know you'll fall for it. The thing is, though, this time Reina doesn't really have any counters. I mean, she does, but she takes damage to do it, which is a bit pointless.
I don't understand her counter, to be honest. I've never properly played her, but...
that spin.
I love the spin.
That'll be the death of me. For some reason, I can never anticipate it. I'm watching this back. This is not one of my finest fights.
No, mine neither. I'm dropping all sorts of combos on you.
I mean, where are we?
Oosh.
Do I
there's so many. Like, you're whiffing on me so much. I should be able to punish you, but I'm missing all of them. I whiffed massive. Oh, look at that drop! That was a horrendous drop.
It's the grab that got you in the end.
That cost the round when I dropped you then. Not good at all.
You can't get him every time.
Not good at all.
It's the classic
double spam of it.
Missed the distance on that one. Wasn't quite right.
Oh, get out of that one. flipped away. Imagine kicking a bear to make it do a backflip.
I mean, it wasn't just a backflip, it was like 2
It
or
was
3.
yeah, an insane kick to trip over a bear. Crazy.
Oh, the pressure, like, even watching it now, I'm seeing pressure.
Oh, I know. The funny thing is that I'm seeing you do that low, and I'm like, oh, I could react to that now.
That's
But just not reacting to it.
That's the power of hindsight, my friend.
Yeah, I guess.
Every time the low punch, every time. Oh,
There we go.
I think, I remember you winning this, but now, as you've already announced at the very start of the podcast, that you lost.
I mean, they would have seen it already, so it's not exactly a spoiler.
For any of you that haven't seen it.
I mean, who the hell is seeing the episodes and then going, oh, I'm just going to start randomly on this one? I guess it would make sense if we had a load of them, but okay. I
mean, sometimes you go back to the very first one to see where it all began.
I screwed it.
Oh, the wall. I think I panicked by here thinking, oh, that's it, it's done.
Oh, there's so many things that I just should have done different looking at this now. Oh, the delay on picking up.
Yes, the kicks.
God damn. Yeah, so final round we got to.
Well, that should never land. I did that as a risk, and it worked.
Oh,
it's all going wrong. It's all going wrong.
Oh, blocked that one. One fast enough for the react, though. Getting out of the grabs. That delay and cancel then. God,
the counter every time. You get comfortable, and that's how I get you out of it.
I get comfortable.
You do every time.
This is like a pathetic fight.
Is that the end?
I think it might be. No.
You came back a bit.
Do I come back? Like, you've got so much health on me, though. I'm panicking, I'm just scared. That's the problem.
That was it, the kick. Because I remember saying, that is not what I intended to do. The kick won me the fight, so I was like, I'll walk away with it.
So you win that one. And now you're going to go Reina?
Reina
is.
Are we doing this on the PlayStation again?
Yeah, we'll do it the same. We'll do it on the PlayStation.
So you'll get to see another one of my funky designs.
Okay, let's go. Right. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Get ready for the next battle. Round 1. Fight. Round 3. Fight.